Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So in this video, we'll try and understand or rather decode as to what should be the correct GST which should be disclosed on a restaurant bill. So I brought a screenshot of a restaurant, and as you can see, this restaurant has basically charged a service charge and you have GST and the total amount. Now there are around 3-4 mistakes in this particular restaurant bill. Number one, as you can see, they have charged GST of 239.58 rupees on this particular bill. Now, legally, you cannot raise a tax invoice or a GST invoice without quoting a GST number. This particular restaurant has nowhere quoted a GST number, but they are charging 18% GST, which is incorrect. Number one. Number two, the rate of GST they have given is 18% on top of the value plus service charge. Now, a standalone restaurant, if it's not part of any hotel, a standalone restaurant cannot charge 18%. It can only charge 5% on the value of the goods or value of the food or the beverages. So, the GST rate in this particular bill is wrong. It is not an 18%, it is a 5% GST that should be levied. Number two. Number three, the type of GST being used is incorrect. They have used an IGST instead of a CGST and an SGST. Now for restaurants, because the restaurant is permanently located in a particular place, you are going to the restaurant having food. So the location of the supplier is basically that place where the restaurant is located, obviously, because that's where the building or the restaurant is. And the location of the recipient is you going there and having food. Now this does not become an interstate supply because you are in the same state where the restaurant is located. So therefore, you cannot charge an IGST because IGST is meant for interstate. You can only charge a CGST and an SGST for intrastate supplies. So the third mistake that they've done is with the rate of type of GST. They have levied an IGST instead of a CGST and an SGST, and the rate of course it's incorrect. It should be 5%, 2.5, rather than 18%. And the last mistake that can be observed from this particular bill is that service charge of 10% they have charged off the value, and on top of that they have charged GST. Now, as per the Central Consumer Protection Act, the government has clearly mentioned and clarified that service charge on a restaurant bill cannot be charged. It is not a mandatory charge. It is not a government fee or a government tax. Only if the customer is requesting for service charge to be added can the restaurant add service charge of 5 or 2 or 10%. So if you get a bill with service charge and you've never requested for any service charge, that itself becomes an incorrect bill because there is no law governing the fact that a service charge must be charged, must be charged by a restaurant or shown on a restaurant bill. So these are the 3-4 mistakes that you can see, that you can observe on this particular restaurant bill as far as GST is concerned. Now, let us go to the screenshot of a correct GST bill. And as you can see, GST number is very well there. The type of GST is a CGST and SGST and not an IGST because it's an intrastate supply. The rate of GST is not an 18%. It is a 5% GST because it's a standalone restaurant divided 2.5%. There's no service charge. It is absent here because it is you cannot compel to have a service charge added on the restaurant bill. It is only at the option or only at the request of the customer can a restaurant charge service charge off the value. So this is the correct restaurant bill, and the idea was for you to be aware when you pay the bill at the restaurant that you should not pay anything more than what it should normally come. The GST should not be 18%. You should not pay service charge unless you have requested. So therefore, for restaurants, normally it is a 5% GST for standalone restaurants. But if a restaurant is connected to a hotel and the hotel is charging rent of more than 7,500 rupees a day, then 18% GST will apply. So if the restaurant is part of a hotel and you're walking into a restaurant, you're getting a bill, and if it's 18%, the rent of the room should not exceed should exceed 7,500. If the rent of the room of the hotel per day is not exceeding 7,500, then a 5% GST should be levied by the restaurant. So if the tariff per day of the hotel is not exceeding 7,500, then automatically the restaurant, which is part of the hotel, can only charge a 5% GST, otherwise 18%. Whether the standalone restaurant is AC or non-AC, it doesn't matter. if it's standalone and if it's not part of a hotel where the rent is exceeding 7,500 rupees a day, then 5% GST will continue. For takeaways and for food delivery, 5% GST is applicable because it is very well connected to that particular standalone restaurant. So 18% GST should be levied by a restaurant which is part of a hotel having tariff or room rent of more than 7,500 rupees a particular day. Then 18% should be charged or shown in that particular bill. Outdoor catering, if it's on a standalone basis, it's normally at 5%. But if outdoor catering is done by the banquets of a particular hotel having room tariff more than 7,500, then definitely 18% GST will apply. So the idea or the objective of this particular video was just to make you aware of the correct GST and service charge and all that should come on a particular restaurant bill. Well, if you like the video, you could show support to us by hitting the like button. If you want more videos like these on a regular basis through way of notifications, you could also think of hitting on the subscribe button. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and thank you.